Welcome to the Lit Breakdown. Today, we're diving into one of the most powerful self-improvement books ever written, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, by Stephen R. Covey. In this breakdown, I'll guide you through each habit in simple, practical language so you can apply these principles to your own life and become more effective, focused, and successful. Let's get started. Chapter 1. Be proactive. Habit 1 is about taking full responsibility for your life. It means realizing that you are in control of your actions, your emotions, and even your future. Not your circumstances, not other people, not luck. Stephen Covey explains that there are 2 kinds of people: reactive people and proactive people. Reactive people blame the weather, the economy, or other people for their situation. Their moods depend on external factors, and when things go wrong, they feel powerless. Proactive people, on the other hand, understand that while they can't always control what happens to them, they can control how they respond. They focus on what they can change instead of wasting energy on things they can't. Covey introduces the concept of the circle of concern and the circle of influence. The circle of concern includes everything you care about but can't control, like the weather or other people's opinions. The circle of influence includes everything you can control, like your habits, choices, and reactions. Proactive people focus on their circle of influence, and as they do, their influence grows. Reactive people focus on the circle of concern, and over time their influence shrinks. One of the most powerful lessons in this chapter is the idea of freedom to choose. Between what happens to you and how you react, there is a space. In that space, you have the power to choose your response. Reactive people act on impulse, but proactive people pause, think, and make conscious decisions about how they will respond. Covey also shows how our language reflects our mindset. Reactive people say things like, "I can't," or "that's just the way I am." Proactive people use language like, "I will," or "let's find a solution." Changing your words from reactive to proactive helps change your mindset and eventually your results. To apply this habit, start by noticing your reactions. Are you blaming others or circumstances? Shift your focus to the things you can control. Change your language to reflect a proactive mindset. Pause before you respond to challenges, and use that moment to make thoughtful choices instead of reacting emotionally. To sum it up, Habit 1. Be proactive is about taking charge of your life. It's about choosing your response, focusing on what you can control, and using your energy to create positive change. This habit lays the foundation for all the others in the book. Without it, the rest of the habits won't work. Chapter 2. Begin with the end in mind. Habit 2 is about clarity of purpose. It means starting every project, goal, or even your entire life with a clear understanding of where you want to end up. Stephen Covey explains that if you don't decide what your destination is, you might spend your whole life climbing the ladder of success, only to realize it was leaning against the wrong wall. Everything is created twice. First in your mind. You imagine it, plan it, dream it. Then in reality, you act on it, build it, and bring it to life. Successful people make sure the first creation is clear before starting the second. They don't just live by default, they live by design. Covey draws a distinction between personal leadership and personal management. Personal management is about doing things right, efficiency. Personal leadership is about doing the right things, effectiveness. If you focus only on management without leadership, you might be moving fast, but in the wrong direction. This habit encourages everyone to create a personal mission statement. This is like your personal constitution, a guiding document that keeps you focused on what matters most. It helps you clarify your values, define your goals, and make decisions based on principles, not emotions or peer pressure. When you have a clear mission, life's distractions don't throw you off course. Covey also reminds us that all things are created twice, because he wants us to understand the importance of vision. Every building was first a blueprint. Every business was first an idea. Every success was first a vision in someone's mind. If you want to live a meaningful life, begin by imagining the legacy you want to leave behind. To apply this habit, imagine yourself at your own funeral. What would you want people to say about your character, your achievements, and your relationships? Write down your personal mission statement and make sure your daily actions align with your long-term values and vision. To sum it up, Habit 2. Begin with the end in mind. Teaches you to live with purpose and direction. By starting with a clear vision of your destination, you make better decisions, focus on what truly matters, and avoid climbing the wrong ladder in life. This habit helps you design your life before you start living it, so your actions always move you closer to your ultimate goals. Chapter 3. Put first things first. Habit 3 is about living your life based on priorities rather than reacting to pressures and distractions. Habit 1 taught you to take control of your life, and Habit 2 helped you define your vision and direction. Now, Habit 3 is about living that vision day by day by focusing on what truly matters. Stephen Covey explains the difference between urgent things and important things. Urgent things demand immediate attention, like ringing phones, last-minute deadlines, or minor crises. Important things, on the other hand, contribute to long-term goals, values, and success, like building relationships, exercising, planning, or learning new skills. Many people spend their lives reacting to urgent things while neglecting the important ones. Habit 3 teaches you to reverse this, to prioritize the important before it becomes urgent. Covey introduces the time management matrix, which divides tasks into 4 categories: urgent and important, not urgent but important, urgent but not important, and neither urgent nor important. Highly effective people focus on the second category, not urgent but important. This is where personal growth, planning, and relationship building happen. Spending time here prevents crises and creates long-term success. Another key lesson in this chapter is learning to say no. Every time you say yes to something unimportant, you are saying no to something important. Living by priorities means having the courage to protect your time and energy for what truly matters. Covey emphasizes the importance of leading a principle-centered life. This means managing yourself based on values, not emotions or external pressures. It requires discipline to stay focused on important tasks, courage to ignore distractions, and commitment to align your actions with your goals. To apply this habit, start by identifying the activities that bring real long-term value to your life. Schedule time for them before everything else takes over. Resist the pull of urgent but less important tasks. Learn to say no with confidence, and make sure your daily actions reflect the vision and priorities you defined in Habit 2. To sum it up, Habit 3, put first things first, is about organizing your life around your highest priorities. It teaches you to focus on what matters most, use your time wisely, and align your actions with your deepest values and goals. When you put first things first, you stop being driven by urgency and start living with purpose and direction. Chapter 4. Think win-win. Habit 4 is about approaching relationships and situations with the mindset that everyone can benefit. Instead of seeing life as a competition where one person wins and another loses, this habit teaches you to seek solutions where both sides feel satisfied and respected. Stephen Covey explains that many people operate with a scarcity mindset. They believe there is only so much success, recognition, or opportunity to go around. If someone else wins, they think it means they have lost. But effective people develop an abundance mindset. They believe there is enough success, love, and opportunity for everyone, so they look for ways to create mutual benefit rather than competition. Covey describes different ways people approach relationships. Some people focus on win-lose, where they win at the expense of others. Others live by lose-win, where they sacrifice their own needs to keep the peace. Then there's lose-lose, where no one wins because anger or revenge destroys everything. Some people just want to win for themselves and don't care what happens to others. The best approach is win-win or no deal. With win-win, both people walk away feeling good about the outcome. With win-win or no deal, you agree that if both sides cannot benefit, there will be no agreement at all. This keeps relationships respectful and prevents resentment. Covey explains that a win-win mindset requires integrity, maturity, and an abundance mentality. Integrity means staying true to your values. Maturity means balancing courage with consideration, standing up for yourself, while also caring about others. The abundance mentality means believing there is enough for everyone to succeed. Living win-win is not about being soft or avoiding conflict. It's about being strong enough to seek the best solution for everyone involved. It requires empathy to understand others, confidence to express your own needs, and creativity to find solutions where everyone benefits. To apply this habit, start looking for opportunities where both sides can win. Listen to understand the other person's perspective. Be clear about what you want, but also be open to new ideas that might work better for everyone. Build trust by keeping your promises and respecting others' needs as much as your own. To sum it up, Habit 4, Think Win-Win, teaches you to see life as a cooperative, not competitive, experience. By looking for mutual benefit in every interaction, you build stronger relationships, increase trust, and create solutions where everyone succeeds. When you focus on win-win outcomes, you replace rivalry with respect and build a foundation for long-term success together. Chapter 5. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. Habit 5 is about the power of listening. Most people listen with the intent to reply, not to truly understand. They are either preparing their response or waiting for their turn to speak. As a result, conversations become debates rather than opportunities for connection. Stephen Covey explains that real communication starts with empathy, putting yourself in the other person's shoes and listening with the intent to understand, not to judge or fix. When people feel heard, they open up, trust grows, and solutions become easier to find. He compares typical listening to prescribing medicine before diagnosing the problem. Many people offer advice, give opinions, or share their experiences without first fully understanding what the other person is feeling or trying to say. This often leads to frustration and miscommunication because the real issue remains hidden. Empathic listening goes beyond words. It pays attention to tone, emotion, and meaning. It's about listening with your ears, eyes, and heart. Once you truly understand the other person, you can then share your own perspective in a way that is respectful and meaningful. Covey explains that communication is the most important skill in life. We spend years learning to read, write, and speak, but very little time learning how to listen. Yet listening with empathy is what builds trust, heals relationships, and leads to real influence. To apply this habit, practice listening without interrupting. Focus completely on the other person. Reflect back what you hear to make sure you understand. Only after they feel fully heard should you offer your thoughts or advice. When people sense you genuinely care about their point of view, they are far more open to hearing yours. To sum it up, Habit 5, seek first to understand, then to be understood, teaches you to listen with empathy before speaking. By understanding others first, you build trust, reduce conflict, and create the kind of communication that leads to real solutions and stronger relationships. When you listen to understand instead of listening to reply, you turn conversations into connections and open the door to true cooperation. Chapter 6. Synergize. Habit 6 is about the power of teamwork and collaboration. It teaches that when people work together with openness and respect, they can create results far better than what anyone could achieve alone. Stephen Covey calls this synergy, the idea that the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. Most people settle for compromise, where each side gives up something to reach an agreement. Synergy goes beyond compromise. It creates solutions that are better than what either side originally imagined. The key to synergy is valuing differences. People see the world differently because of their unique backgrounds, experiences, and perspectives. Instead of resisting those differences, synergy invites us to embrace them. When people combine their strengths and ideas, creativity flows and innovation happens. Synergy requires open-mindedness, respect, and a willingness to truly listen. It asks us to replace competition with cooperation and judgment with curiosity. It challenges us to seek the third alternative, a solution that is better than what either side started with because it blends the best ideas from everyone involved. Covey explains that synergy shows up in families, workplaces, communities, and even in nature. Two plants growing together can protect each other from the wind. Teams that trust and respect each other create breakthrough products and services. Families with different personalities and talents become stronger when everyone contributes. To apply this habit, start by valuing people's differences instead of seeing them as problems. Listen deeply to other perspectives. Look for creative ways to combine ideas rather than settling for compromise. When people feel heard, respected, and valued, synergy naturally follows. To sum it up, Habit 6, Synergize, teaches you to embrace differences, build trust, and work together creatively. When people combine their strengths and ideas, they create solutions that no one could have achieved alone. Synergy turns diversity into strength and collaboration into breakthrough results. Chapter 7. Sharpen the Saw. Habit 7 is about self-renewal, taking time to refresh and strengthen yourself so you can keep growing and performing at your best. Stephen Covey uses the example of a woodcutter sawing all day without stopping. The blade becomes dull, so the work gets harder and takes longer. Another woodcutter stops periodically to sharpen the saw, and as a result, he finishes faster with less effort. The lesson is clear. You are the saw, and if you don't take time to renew yourself, life becomes harder, and your effectiveness declines. Covey explains that renewal must happen in 4 key areas. Physical renewal comes from exercise, healthy eating, and proper rest. Mental renewal comes from learning, reading, and challenging your mind with new ideas. Social and emotional renewal come from building relationships, serving others, and developing empathy. Spiritual renewal comes from reflection, meditation, prayer, or connecting with nature. Anything that helps you find deeper meaning and purpose in life. Ignoring any of these areas can leave you feeling out of balance. Taking care of all 4 ensures long-term energy, health, and growth. Sharpening the saw is not a one-time activity, but a habit of continuous improvement. Covey uses the Japanese word kaizen, meaning constant, small improvements over time. By making renewal a regular part of your life, you prevent burnout, stay creative, and keep growing in all areas. To apply this habit, Schedule regular time for activities that refresh your body, mind, heart, and spirit. Read good books, exercise, spend time with loved ones, reflect on your values, and make space for things that keep you energized and inspired. To sum it up, Habit 7, Sharpen the Saw, teaches you to care for yourself in every area of life so you can stay balanced, energized, and effective for the long run. When you sharpen the saw regularly, you maintain the strength and clarity to keep improving and living the other 6 habits successfully. Final closing summary. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People is a roadmap for personal growth, strong relationships, and long-term success. Each habit builds on the one before it, creating a complete framework for living with purpose and effectiveness. Habit 1. Be proactive. Teaches you to take responsibility for your life and focus on what you can control. Habit 2. Begin with the end in mind. Helps you define your vision and live with clear purpose. Habit 3. Put first things first. Shows you how to focus on priorities instead of distractions. Habit 4. Think win-win. Teaches you to approach relationships with cooperation rather than competition. Habit 5. Seek first to understand, then to be understood, builds trust and strengthens communication through empathy. Habit 6. Synergize. Helps you embrace differences and create better solutions together than you could alone. Habit 7. Sharpen the Saw. Reminds you to care for your body, mind, heart, and spirit so you can keep growing and thriving. Together, these habits move you from dependence to independence, and finally, to interdependence, where you work effectively with others while staying true to your values and goals. When you live these habits, you don't just achieve success. You build a life of balance, purpose, and lasting impact. If this breakdown of the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People gave you value, don't just stop here. On the Lit Breakdown, we bring you powerful book summaries and life-changing insights every single week. Clear, simple, and easy to apply. So, hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, subscribe to the channel for more life-changing book breakdowns, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss the next one. And in the comments below, tell me, which of the 7 habits will you start applying in your life today? I'd love to hear your thoughts.